Diane and Denmark here. Hooray! We made it to the end of another week. That's always worth a shake of the pom-poms. Anyway, all this week I have been showing you, I hope, how I fit the Flylady's daily focus into my life here in Copenhagen and our family. And remember, you don't need to do the things in the daily focus on the same days as the Flylady system. You may want to spread them out a bit, but the main idea is that we're using the Flylady system to save us time and energy. It's not making more work for us, it's making less work for us. And especially for me, it's taken away that anxious feeling of not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing and when I'm supposed to be doing it. That's really been a big game changer for me. That, you know, I like to have things organised, and it stresses me out if I'm not, if I don't know what to do. That's what the Flylady system gives us, and getting things done system as well. It just gives us a way to move forward. That's all we're doing, you know. As I say all the time, we're just putting one foot in front of the other. So today is Friday, Flylady Friday, and I'll just quickly recap what we've done this week. And remember, there's a playlist there, so you can go back and see what we've done this week, the daily focus. Started off on Monday, and I was talking about, you know, if you've made your control journal, and I showed you me doing my weekly home blessing. Now, I showed you in real time me doing weekly home blessing, and I explained to you that you may want to split it up. I explained how I split it up. You know, I change sheets on a Sunday, taking out the oh gosh, have you seen? There's a bit of snow here today. Taking out the recycling. We generally do that on a daily basis, you know, as I'm cooking. You know, at the end of the day, we take stuff out to the bins. But once a week, you know, we'll go through the whole house because, like, for example, this morning was recycling here. So yesterday we made sure that all, you know, all the glass and papers, all those were ready because those will be picked up today. Anyway, that was Monday. And then we were on to Tuesday, which was plan and play. And I explained to you what I plan on a Tuesday, you know, whether it's going through bank statements or planning some fun with friends, you know, buying tickets for concerts. And I also took my diary and I planned my menu. So yeah, and I gave you some ideas about menu planning. And let me just see, I can tell you what we're having. Though you see it on Instagram, I post every day what we're having for dinner. So this week's menu, where are we? Oh yeah, had to check the date here. You know the day, I'm like, is it February, is it March? It's 2nd of March. Okay, so on Tuesday, I used up a ham that I had in the freezer from Christmas. So we had glazed ham. On Wednesday, we had huevos rancheros with tortilla triangles. Last night, we had some pork chops, which I do in strips, with pita bread and salad, and also made up some falafel, and the kids have used that for their packed lunches for today. Today I'm making a quiche because I've got some stuff to be used up, and I've got a tin of crab meat and just in a wholemeal tart case with salad. And then tomorrow is salmon with pesto and couscous. Sunday is confit de canard, duck, which we buy in a tin. And the other thing is, with red cabbage. And then on Monday, I've got tortellini pasta with lots of vegetables. And Tuesday is probably going to be Korean beef. So that was me for the week. You know, I sit down for 10 minutes and plan according to what we've got in the fridge and the freezer and the cupboards or behind you. So that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday, anti-procrastination day, and you saw me decluttering my pamper basket and Easter decorations, because that had something that I was meant to do and I hadn't got around to it. And also I checked because we had a thing from the dentist. I don't know if you have been procrastinating about dentist appointments, but I got a text from the dentist saying it was time for a checkup. And I thought it was for me, but it's actually for my husband. Hooray! I managed to escape, you know, the noose of the of the henchman for another month. So it's not my turn, it's my husband's turn. So it's he's going to the dentist next. It's just a checkup. But I've got this thing about going to the dentist. Anyway, that was Wednesday, anti-procrastination day. And then on Thursday, you saw me, I did a video yesterday, you saw me on my errand day taking the decorations, the Easter decorations. I took them to the charity shop. I have books which I had decluttered and DVDs as part of our 1 a day challenge. Those went to the book exchange. You saw me at the supermarket, and I had some cans for the deposit. And just hold on, because this is what I'm going to talk about today, with it being Friday. You'll have seen this basket in the back of my car. And I was at the library and picked up some stuff at the library. And I was in the bookshop. So anyway, you saw me how it works with errand day. And then today, Friday, is Flylady Friday. And remember, you can do this on any day that suits you, but just get it written down, excuse me, so that you actually get it done. Friday is fill up your car with petrol. Now, I quite often do that when I'm doing errand day, because if I'm out at the supermarket, the petrol station is very close to there, so it makes sense for me to do it then. And I only need to fill up with petrol once or twice, probably once a fortnight, once every 2 weeks, because we hardly ever use the car. We're mainly on our bikes, and we're not doing any trips to Sweden right now. And if you remember, gosh, it was like a month ago, we have a Swedish summer cottage, a weekend cabin that we use all year round. And a family just a few doors down from us, they had a house fire and were without somewhere to stay. And we said that they were welcome to use our cabin. I mean, it's not fancy, but it was a place to stay while their house is being rebuilt. So they're in our cabin right now. So we're not going to Sweden at the moment. And I heard from them the other day, the rebuild of their house is going really well. The kitchen is being rebuilt, and they have an area that we don't have one of those here in the house, but an area like a wet room thing. That's being rebuilt, and the floors, I think, in the bedroom, they had a lot of smoke damage. Anyway, long story short, we don't need to use the car for going to Sweden at the moment, and I'm just making short journeys, so I only fill up with petrol probably once every 2 weeks. And as I say, it makes sense for me to do that on same day as errand day, but if not, then I do it on a Friday if I'm out and about. So Friday, when you're filling up with petrol, take the chance, when you're at the petrol station and you're filling it with petrol, have a look in the car. Are there any, sweet wrappers in there, snotty hankies? Just keep a couple of old grocery bags or rubbish bags in there. So, and we have a little rule, like if we don't really eat in the car. But if we do, nobody gets to leave the car. Nobody is allowed to get out the car unless they take whatever it is with them. We don't leave anything in the car. And you might want to also go through the car this weekend, because certainly for us it's icy weather here. Make sure that you've got some rugs in there, things for de-icing, scrapers and whatever. Because when was it? This is probably going back about 4 or 5 years ago, or probably longer. It wasn't in the winter, but I was going to pick up my daughter and some of her friends. They were at a school camp. They'd been away for the week, and me and one of the other mums were driving up there to bring some of the kids back home on the Friday afternoon. And when we were driving up there, just about a kilometre before we got to the camp, we were the first on the scene at a car accident. There was a car which had swerved off the road, ended up in a field. Luckily, they weren't hurt. We got them out of the car, and the car was kind of smoking. We got them away from the car, and the lady, she was in shock. So I got her into my car, and I had my Flylady water bottle with me. I actually had some coffee in the travel mug, and thank goodness my car was clean. And she sat in the back until the ambulance arrived, and you know, I could give her some water and some coffee and, you know, wrap her up in a blanket. So you never know what is around the corner, what is going to happen to you. And I was so thankful. I mean, it was good to be able to help out at the scene of the accident, but that, you know, I could say, you know, there was no hesitation. I could just say to this woman, come and sit in my car until the ambulance arrives, and she could just sit there. And I wasn't thinking, oh my goodness, there are like newspapers and old crisp packets. So, you know, even if you've not got bad weather conditions, just do yourself a favour. And I remember also one of the ladies I was mentoring when I was a Flylady mentor at Flylady Premium. And hello to you if you're watching, you know who you are. And she had a really messy car, but, you know, we worked on it every week with her little reminders. And she felt so fantastic because there was one morning she was driving to work and it was pouring with rain, and she saw a neighbour and she could stop because before she didn't want to stop and show her car to anybody, but she could actually give the neighbour a lift because she had, you know, a space in her car for the neighbour to sit down and she wasn't embarrassed. So anyway, Friday is, you know, tidy out your car, but you don't need to, you know, go hoovering everything, you know, and getting the vacuum out. Just get as much junk out as you can. You straighten things up a bit, and if you do it, you know, once a week or once every other week, it doesn't get that bad. Right, other thing for Flylady Friday is tidying out your handbag or your diaper bag. Now, I'll put a link up there because I did that last week. I showed you me, you know, going through my swimming bag and my handbag. And I've also got another video from way back where you see me going through every single thing and filling up with petrol. So I can link to that up there. It's on the Daily Focus playlist. And the last thing that I do on a Friday is it now, and Flylady it calls it date night. My husband and I, we've never done the date night thing because we are real homebodies and we're a bit introvert and we love to be at home. And my husband works really hard during the week, so it's actually really nice when we're all at home together on a Friday watching Danish X Factor or whatever it is. So what we do, and listen, feel free to do whatever you want. If you want to go out with your husband to a Michelin restaurant, or with your significant other, or you know, with a friend, you know, if you don't have family, do that. But what we normally do is, here's my wee basket from the supermarket from yesterday. I picked up a couple of films from the library. You know, our library is fantastic. Everything is free. You can take like 50 DVDs, magazines, books. We even have jigsaw puzzles for kids. You can even borrow posters to have in your house. And actually, we ended up watching this one last night. I'm not big into zombie films, but this was a South Korean zombie film, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we might watch it again at the weekend. Anyway, I normally grab a few DVDs to watch, or we watch an old favourite, you know, like Red or The Fifth Element, something like that, or Hot Fuzz. So we normally, you know, watch a DVD or watch something on the television. And what I do is, oh, there's little Flylady. And instead of, you know, we've just got our usual dinner, but then I always make sure that we've got the family's favourite snacks and drinks. Now, don't worry, we're not eating all of this, but Spore, as they're called, Moon Cooler, can't beat those, Gammeldays, or Gammeldaus, Fläskesfär, pork scratchings, yeah, Danish delicacy. And of course you can't have Friday night without having some kind of herbal mix. And I've got some Pingvinstänger, which are penguin sticks. You see those? And Maltesers, good old-fashioned British Maltesers, and also some other ones made by Tom's. So anyway, we've got a few things here, and we've also got some more down in the cupboards. And as I said, we don't eat all of these, but it's just a little thing where we kind of hygge on a Friday night and on a Saturday night. And just to finish off what the rest of the Flylady focus, let me put my basket here. You know, I've talked about Monday to Friday, And Saturday is family fun day. And that doesn't mean that you have to go out to a huge amusement park and spend lots of money, or go to the cinema and do the popcorn. I mean, here in Denmark, cinema is really expensive, so it's not something we do very often. But just something for fun. I mean, if you watch, if you've seen what my posts on Instagram, you'll know that we often play card games, like Exploding Kittens or Set, or board games. So it doesn't need to cost any money, just something that's fun for you and the family to do. Or maybe you want to go out sledging if there's enough snow where you are. But it's just doing something together, and it doesn't involve like spending the whole day. It can be like 15 or 20 minutes playing a card game, and just the feeling that you've done it, it's much easier to get back into the rhythm of spending time as a family. And then Sunday in Flylady land is Renew Your Spirit Day. And I've told you that often I don't normally post videos Saturday and Sunday because I like to keep my boundaries and keep my time free. You will see me this weekend because we're still going with the 1 a day challenge. Let me just grab, and I can show you my item for today. We're still going with our 1 a day challenge. I'm posting every day a little video on Instagram, but I'm doing a roundup once a week, and you'll see this on Instagram later. So normally I don't post on at the weekend, and Sunday is Renew Your Spirit. Now that can be many things to many people. Maybe you go to church. Maybe it's your day that your significant other looks after the kids and you get to go off and go. Bungee jumping, I mean, whatever it is. For me, actually, the Renew Your Spirit thing, I actually do a lot. I'm very conscious about getting my me time every day, and getting out my pamper basket and doing, reading a couple of chapters for 15 minutes. Or my skinny dipping with Vibeke and Helena. You'll see all the pictures on Instagram. So on a Sunday, I just kind of chill. It's not something where I need to carve out a lot of time to renew my spirit and recharge my batteries, because as I'm using the Flylady focus, the daily focus, I never feel that frazzled anymore. But you may still be working on it, and you maybe need to set your timer and actually carve out some time. And as I said, just set your timer for 10 minutes, go outside for a walk, get all bundled up, plenty of layers if it's like Siberian cold like it is here. Just do something for you, and it's not being selfish. We've really got to recharge the batteries here, just like Iron Man, sometimes he needs to plug himself into the wall and recharge. So anyway, I'm going to stop it here, because also we have been working in 2 zones this week with Flylady. It was Zone 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week, because we're now into March, is Zone 1, which is the entryway, porch if you have one of those. We don't tend to have those here in Denmark, and a dining room if you have one of those. So, and as before, if you want some help with the kind of cleaning and decluttering in the zones, there's a whole playlist up there, so you can, and I'm not making a video for you today because I've got other stuff to do, and I'm going to be spending 5 or 10 minutes doing a quick dust and a hoover in Zone 1, but I'm not going to bother taping that for you. There's plenty of old videos if you want me to kind of talk you through it, and if you want to watch me working and getting off my bahookie. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you this week. Please, if you haven't done it before, try and make yourself a daily focus. Just get a piece of paper, it doesn't need to be complicated, but write it down and do it on days to suit you. Remember, you don't need to do what I'm doing. You've just got to think, are there ways that you can implement it to make your life a bit easier? That's all that we're trying to do here. As I said, doing your Flylady routines is not more work, it's making less work for you. And who doesn't love that? By doing our things consistently, it makes things move, run more smoothly, and then we have less to do. I mean, you see that with my clean. I can clean a room in 15 minutes flat. Anyway, enough. I've got to get on with my Friday. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I will see you over the weekend with the 40-day declutter challenge. Keep warm out there. I hope it's nice and snowy where you are. And as usual, live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you wherever you are. And I shall see you very soon. Okay, bye for now.